What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is Matt or Snussycopen. So today we are going to go over the early 2000s Camaro and Mustang, kind of go through the pros and cons. Now, before we start this video, I wanted to let you guys know that this is going to be a completely unbiased video. I know a lot of you guys know me as a GM guy because I've had 3 Camaros in my life. I currently own 2, and I have a Duramax. Now, I don't want you guys to feel that I'm leaning heavily towards Chevy because, like I said, there are certain things on the early 2000 Camaros that I really don't like. So we're going to go through the pros and cons of each side and come to a conclusion. So before I actually bought my first car, which was a 95 Camaro, it was only a 6-cylinder, it wasn't a Z28, I was actually really looking forward to getting a 99 to 04 Mustang GT as my first vehicle. I really enjoyed the body style, the look, and the sound of those specific Mustangs. But anyway, let's get in today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. As always, guys, do not forget to check me out on Instagram at Snussycopen and give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you guys enough. Alrighty, guys, so up first is the 99 to 2004 Ford Mustang GT. Now, the Ford Mustang GT had a retail price of about $22,900 to start out the gate. Now, inclusive with the $22,900 when you made the purchase back in 99 to 04, your vehicle came with a 4.6 liter 260 horsepower V8 motor. Now, these motors weren't necessarily up to par with the power that the Camaro put out, but they were still very powerful, and quite frankly, I do really enjoy the sound of the Mustang. Now, the 99 to 04 Mustang GT did come with the 0 to 60 that was 6 seconds flat and also ran a 14.7 quarter mile, which isn't the fastest, but it's definitely no slouch either. But all in all, with simple cheap modifications, you could bump up your time quite a little bit with simple bolt-ons. Now, in one department, I know the Mustang will absolutely annihilate the Camaro in, and that is looks. Somebody that I've been watching on YouTube for quite a while, being Derek Baran, I mean, watching his transformation of his Mustang to basically go in, and he does have a rarer color blue. I love his car. I love the overall appearance of his car. I'm not necessarily big on bagging muscle cars, but he really pulled it off with his. And quite frankly, I would prefer the look of his car than having the LS1 98 to 02 Camaro any day of the week. Obviously being other things that would play into that, but his car I just personally think is phenomenal looking. Up next on the list is the 98 to 2002 Camaro Z28. Now, I will start out the gate by kind of bashing the Camaro overall in general, and this is coming from a previous 4th gen owner. When it comes to the change from 97 to 98 in the front bumper, I am not a fan at all. Quite frankly, I wish that the LS1 came in the earlier generation of the 4th gen body style. I'm more of a fan of the pointier front, the 93 to 07. Quite frankly, I think that the 98 to 02 looks too much like a Chrysler Sebring for my liking, so it kind of throws you off a little bit. Now, granted, they did have the SS model, which did have the hood scoop, and it made it look a little bit better, but I'm just not a fan of the front bumper of this car. Anyway, despite not liking the front bumper, let's get into kind of the specs of the 98 to 02 Camaro Z28. Now, it did come in a relatively similar price range as the Mustang GT. Now, they were only $100 apart when you really sit down and you think about it. The Camaro was actually cheaper. Now, I am a firm believer that the LS1 was kind of ahead of its time. I think that the LS1, comparing it to the 4.6 liter Mustang motor, I don't really think that there is a comparison not only stock performance wise, but in the aftermarket world as well. I feel like for a cheaper amount of money, you can make your 98 to 02 Camaro a hell of a lot faster than you could the Mustang with the same amount of money. Now, it did come stock with the LS1 5.7 liter with 310 horsepower and 340 foot-pounds of torque, which is very impressive for being the motor that came out in 1998. Those numbers were super high, and they were really phenomenal for that time frame. I mean, nowadays you think about a Chrysler Town and Country minivan comes out with 300 horsepower, but back in that time frame, 310 horsepower was a big number. So the 0 to 60 time kind of shows the jump between the LS1 and the Mustang's 4.6. You ended up having a 5.10 to 60 in the Camaro compared to the 6.0 in the Mustang, and your quarter mile time ended up being a 13.5 compared to a 14.7, which might not sound like a lot on paper, but that's almost a second and a half quarter mile time difference and almost a second difference in the 0 to 60. Alrighty guys, so as we wrap up today's video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video was very different compared to most things on my channel. I actually compared two separate vehicles. Now, with both vehicles, if you were looking in the 100,000 mile range right now, if you were to buy either one of them, you're looking around $6,000 a piece. So my final decision on which car I would choose, like I said, not being biased, would be the Z28. I think that you can't go wrong with the 6-speed and the LS1, even though that I'm not a fan of necessarily the front end of the car. I wish that they would have had the LS1 in the 93 to 97 Camaro. I am choosing the Camaro. So if this was your first time watching a video on my channel, guys, I hope you give it a big thumbs up. If you guys would like me to compare more vehicles, whether it's the 80s Camaro versus Mustang, the 70s Camaro versus Mustang, 60s Camaro versus Mustang, you're going to get different answers out of me. I'm not always going to lean towards the Camaro. It's just when it comes to performance, specifically in this year span, you can't beat the performance of the LS1 in comparison to the 4.6, and that's just kind of where I stand. I do think that the Mustang GT does look better, but looks don't make the car perform better. Obviously, there's different things that come into effect when it comes into aerodynamics and stuff like that. But overall, I am going with the Camaro. So hope you guys give this video a big thumbs up. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Till the next time, guys, see ya.